Cut off your arm. Now grow it back. Complete. Functional. Bones, muscles, nerves, skin, everything in a few weeks. Impossible, right? For you, yes. For a starfish, Tuesday. But here's what's truly mind-blowing. The starfish doesn't just regrow the arm. The arm can regrow the entire starfish. One arm, 5 hearts, a whole new brain, a complete animal from a severed limb. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now in tide pools around the world. And buried in the starfish's DNA are instructions that could revolutionize medicine, rewrite aging, and change what it means to be human. This is the story of regeneration, and it starts with an animal that refuses to accept that damage is permanent. Humans have known about starfish regeneration for centuries. Fishermen hated them. Starfish were pests. They'd invade oyster beds, pry open shells with their powerful arms, and devour entire harvests. So fishermen would catch them, tear them apart, and throw the pieces back into the ocean. Problem solved, right? Wrong. The fishermen were horrified to discover that the problem got worse. Instead of killing the starfish, they were multiplying them. Each piece, if it contained enough of the central disc, would regenerate into a complete new starfish. They weren't killing them, they were cloning them. For a long time, this was dismissed as a curiosity, a weird quirk of simple ocean creatures. Interesting, but not particularly important. Then, in the early 1900s, scientists began studying regeneration systematically. They wanted to understand how. How does a chunk of tissue know how to rebuild an entire organism? Thomas Hunt Morgan, who would later win a Nobel Prize for his work on genetics, conducted experiments on starfish regeneration. He cut them in precise ways, removed specific parts, tracked which pieces could regenerate and which couldn't. What he found was stunning. Starfish weren't just healing wounds, they were reorganizing themselves. Cells that had been specialized, locked into being skin or muscle or nerve, were somehow reversing, becoming flexible again, transforming into whatever was needed. It was as if the starfish had a biological blueprint that could be activated on demand, a cellular memory that remembered, this is what a complete starfish looks like, now rebuild it. But the mechanisms remained mysterious for decades. The tools didn't exist to peer inside cells and watch genes activate in real time. That changed in the 2000s with advances in molecular biology and genetic sequencing, and what scientists discovered was even stranger than anyone imagined. Let me describe what actually happens when a starfish loses an arm. First, the wound seals quickly. Within hours, specialized cells migrate to the injury site and form a protective layer. No infection, no bleeding out. Then, something extraordinary begins. Cells near the wound site start to de-differentiate. That's the technical term. But what it means is this. Specialized cells, ones that had committed to being skin cells or muscle cells, somehow forget what they are. They revert to a stem cell-like state, flexible, pluripotent, capable of becoming anything. It's like a carpenter suddenly forgetting how to build houses and reverting to being a blank slate that can learn any trade. These de-differentiated cells form a structure called a blastema, a mass of uncommitted cells that serves as the regeneration factory. The blastema is where the magic happens. Inside this mass, cells begin receiving signals, chemical instructions encoded in genes, and those genes tell the cells, you're going to be bone, you're going to be muscle, you're going to be nerve tissue, and they obey. Over weeks, the blastema grows, structures form, an exoskeleton extends, muscles weave between bones, nerves branch out, connecting to the central nervous system. Blood vessels sprout and network through the new tissue. Within 2 to 3 months, the arm is fully regenerated, complete, functional, indistinguishable from the original. But that's just standard regeneration. Some starfish species can do something far more extreme. If you cut a starfish into 5 pieces, 1 arm each with a small section of the central disc attached, you can get 5 starfish, 5 complete animals from 1. And some species, they don't even need the central disc. The Lynchia genus, commonly called comet starfish, can regenerate an entire body from a single severed arm. 1 arm becomes the new central disc. 4 new arms sprout from it. A complete nervous system forms, digestive organs appear, a whole new starfish from 1 limb. It's not healing, it's resurrection. Now here's where it gets truly bizarre. Starfish can regenerate more than just arms. They can regrow eyes, their stomach, parts of their brain. Some species have been observed regenerating after being cut almost in half, regrowing entire sections of their central disc, including major organs. And they do this while continuing to function. A starfish missing 3 arms doesn't wait to heal before hunting. It just adapts, uses what it has, and quietly rebuilds in the background. It's regeneration as a lifestyle. So how does a starfish pull this off when you, a much more complex, supposedly advanced organism, can't regrow a finger? The answer lies in genes, lots of them. Researchers have identified specific gene networks that activate during starfish regeneration. These genes have names like Wnt, Notch, and BMP, signaling pathways that control cell fate, tissue patterning, and growth. When a starfish is injured, these pathways light up. They coordinate the cellular response, seal the wound, de-differentiate cells, form the blastema, guide specialization. But here's what's crucial. You have these genes too. Humans have Wnt signaling, we have Notch pathways. We use them during embryonic development. When you were growing in the womb, these same genetic programs built your limbs, your organs, your brain. But after birth, in most mammals, these programs get shut down, locked away. We retain the blueprints, but we lose access to them. Starfish don't. They keep these developmental programs accessible throughout their entire lives. It's as if they never fully leave the construction phase. They remain biologically flexible in ways mammals aren't. There's also the issue of complexity. A starfish's nervous system is decentralized. It doesn't have a single brain. It has a nerve ring around its mouth and radial nerves running through each arm. If you lose an arm, you're not losing critical cognitive function. Humans, though, we centralize. 1 brain, 1 heart. Lose a critical organ and the whole system fails. Starfish also have simpler immune systems. Their bodies don't aggressively reject foreign tissue or attack cells that start behaving strangely, like de-differentiating. That flexibility allows regeneration without immune interference. But the most important factor might be cellular commitment. In humans, once a cell specializes, it's mostly locked in. A skin cell stays a skin cell. The molecular brakes are on. Starfish can release those brakes. Their cells maintain a kind of plasticity, a memory of how to become something else if needed. Scientists call this epigenetic flexibility. The DNA sequence doesn't change, but the way genes are expressed does. It's like having a massive library of instruction manuals. Humans have the manuals, but most of them are locked in a vault. Starfish keep the vault open. And that raises a tantalizing question. If we have the same genes, could we learn to unlock them? This is where starfish regeneration stops being just a cool biology fact and starts becoming medically revolutionary. Because researchers are asking, can we give humans regenerative abilities? Not tomorrow, not next year, but maybe within our lifetimes. Here's what's already happening. Salamanders and axolotls, amphibians that can also regenerate limbs, are being studied intensely. Scientists have identified genes that are active during regeneration and are experimenting with activating those same genes in mice. Early results: mice that can partially regenerate fingertips. It's not a full limb yet, but it's proof of concept. The genetic programs exist. They can be turned on. Stem cell research is learning from the blastema. If we could coax human cells to de-differentiate in a controlled way, reverting to a stem cell-like state, we could theoretically grow replacement tissues. This is already happening in labs. Scientists can take adult cells, reprogram them into induced pluripotent stem cells, iPSCs, and then guide them to become heart tissue, neurons, or cartilage. It's early-stage starfish regeneration in a petri dish. Tissue engineering is another frontier. Instead of regenerating in the body, scientists are trying to grow organs externally, building scaffolds, seeding them with cells, and letting biology do the rest. The starfish's ability to coordinate complex tissue growth is the model. If we can crack that code, the signaling networks, the gene timing, we could grow kidneys, livers, even hearts. But there's a deeper implication. Aging is, in many ways, the failure of regeneration. Your cells lose the ability to repair damage efficiently. Tissues break down, organs fail. What if we could reactivate regenerative programs in older humans, not to live forever, but to extend health span, the number of years you remain functional and healthy? Starfish don't age the way we do. Some species show negligible senescence. They don't get weaker or slower as they age. They just keep regenerating. If we understood why, we might be able to slow human aging, not by stopping time, but by maintaining our bodies the way starfish maintain theirs. It sounds like science fiction, but 50 years ago, so did gene therapy and CRISPR. The starfish isn't just teaching us about regeneration. It's teaching us that biological limits aren't fixed. They're just current settings, and settings can be changed. Right now, somewhere in a tide pool, there's a starfish with 4 arms instead of 5. Maybe a predator bit it. Maybe a wave smashed it against rocks. Maybe a curious child picked it up and accidentally tore it. It doesn't matter, because in a few weeks, that 5th arm will be back, fully functional, as if the injury never happened. The starfish doesn't mourn its loss. It doesn't panic. It doesn't even slow down. It just rebuilds. There's something profound in that, something almost philosophical. We humans are terrified of damage, of scars, of the irreversible. We treat injury as tragedy, something that diminishes us permanently. But the starfish doesn't see it that way. To the starfish, damage is temporary, loss is reversible. The body is not a static thing. It's a process, a continuous act of creation and recreation. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Not just that starfish can regrow arms, but that they figured out something we're only beginning to understand. That life isn't about permanence, it's about adaptation. The starfish doesn't cling to what it was. It doesn't resist change. It embraces it, welcomes it, uses it as an opportunity to rebuild better. And in doing so, it survives things that would destroy less flexible creatures. Maybe we're not so different. We can't regrow limbs, not yet, but we can heal. We can adapt. We can change in ways we didn't think possible. Every time you learn something new, your brain physically rewires itself. Neurons form new connections. Pathways strengthen. That's regeneration. Slower, subtler, but real. Every time your skin heals a cut, your body is doing a tiny version of what the starfish does, reading the blueprint, deploying cells, and rebuilding structure. We have the capacity. We've just lost access to the full program. But the starfish reminds us the program exists. It's written in the same genetic language we speak. And if one animal can access it fully, maybe we can too. Not today, not this year, but someday. Imagine a world where losing a limb isn't permanent, where damaged organs can be regrown, where aging is slowed because our bodies remember how to maintain themselves. That world feels distant, impossible, but so did flight once, so did eradicating smallpox, so did landing on the moon. The starfish has been doing the impossible for 500 million years, quietly in tide pools, unnoticed by most of the world. But scientists are noticing now, and they're learning. And maybe, just maybe, the secret to humanity's next great leap isn't in some distant star or hidden dimension. Maybe it's in a small, 5-armed creature clinging to a rock, patiently rebuilding itself, teaching us that damage isn't final, that loss can be reversed, that the body is not a fixed thing, but a story that can be rewritten. The starfish doesn't know it's changing medicine. It doesn't know we're watching, studying, learning. It just lives, regenerates, endures. And in doing so, it offers us a blueprint for a future we're only beginning to imagine. If the idea of animals that can regrow entire body parts fascinates you, you're in exactly the right place. This channel explores the most impossible abilities in nature, creatures that freeze solid, survive in space, photosynthesize like plants, and yes, regenerate like living miracles. These aren't myths, they're real, and they're showing us what's possible. Subscribe so you don't miss what we uncover next, because nature's secrets could change everything. What incredible creatures should I cover next? Let me know in the comments below.